This Super Bowl 59 Prop Bets Philadelphia Eagles edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, this is Brandon Lang. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Huge news in the association, Sean.
Oh yeah. Well, we're not here to talk about Luka Doncic, Ryan. We are.
The
here.
NBA really tried to hijack Super Bowl week. Are you kidding
come on.
me?
There's a time and a place for the NBA.
Why is no one offended? A disgusting act. You want to? So I know a lot of people are outraged about 10-minute quarters. How about you try to know your fucking role, NBA? Shut the fuck up until February, until the Super Bowl's over.
It is the Super Bowl.
Oh wow.
Oh, let's go, baby. Let's go. Super Bowl. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Super Bowl. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a fucking Super Bowl. Oh, the amount the Philadelphia Eagles, the damage this defense is gonna do to the Kansas City Chiefs, the running game. We're just gonna pound the rock, and Jalen Hurts. He heard the haters. Calm, cool, collected, man of style, man of winning, man who gets the job done. Bunch of dogs, Ryan, running on the backside, on the D line. As they say in the Philadelphia Eagles hype videos, it's time to hunt. Let's hunt. Let's hunt some Chiefs. Chiefs out there with their spearheads trying to track down Buffaloes. You got the Buffaloes, but you can't take down the mighty Eagles. Prepare to be clawed to death with the talons of football from Philadelphia. Eagles by 1,000,000. Let's fucking go. And enjoy your copy of Inner Excellence. Fired up. It's really hit me, Ryan, that the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. It's pretty awesome. Let's fucking go.
All right.
Well, I'm sorry. Someone's going to bring energy.
I was letting it breathe.
Sorry. Someone wants to bring energy to the show.
What do you mean? I was letting you have your moment. I could have joined in. That would have been awkward. So I let you have your moment.
We've never done a duet for the Super Bowl show.
Yeah. Well, when the Giants and Eagles play in the Super Bowl, we can do that duet. Or maybe my new team, the Raiders.
Oh, you're becoming a Raider now that they got Chip Kelly. You're all in.
My new for the third time Raiders.
All right, Ryan. I know. You know this is hard seeing a former lover in Saquon Barkley making it to the big game, but
it's not.
Saquon did point out that maybe the Giants. There was some interaction on media day between Jameis Winston, Saquon Barkley. Maybe Jameis Winston ends up a New York Giant. That's got to be exciting.
Saquon's got to watch where he walks if he's going to start talking like that. First of all, second of all, I love the idea of Jameis being on the Giants next year. You know that. The first. I mean, there's been multiple conversations about Jameis on the Giants in this office today. So
yes,
shout out to Jameis. Smart of whatever show said let's get some Jameis media row situation. Great idea. Whoever did that, awesome work by you. And yeah, Jameis on the Giants next year. That would be excellent. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, and shout out to Big Play. Awesome podcast network there.
Is that who sent him?
I don't know off the top of my head.
We were kind of scouting. I could have sworn he had like a FS1 or. Fox.
Yeah, and maybe it was. I know. Big Play. They're a Cleveland podcast network. We've had Big Play Dave on a number of times, and they're expanding their reach to Ohio. But I know they were doing some shows with Jameis Winston. I don't know if they were actually the
some
ones
of our
that sent them.
maybe you could say some of our oldest internet friends.
Yeah,
Big Play.
Yeah, we've been at this game for a long time. And that's where we're staying out. Besides being the only podcast that's picked every NFL game against the spread since 2011, there's another show. Send it over. Of course there isn't, and that's why we are the Sports Gambling Podcast. That's why we have it trademarked. Look it up at the USPTO.gov.
Oh,
if you need to check our stats,
that's a flex. Now I know you're feeling confident for the Super Bowl.
I'm talking about
you're pulling out the patents.
Yeah, you want to look up our trademarks. And we always hook up our audience because we are only as good as the audience, and the audience is Brian. Audience numbers great. Put in a great year. Tremendous work. Did a lot of work over at Spotify this year. Great work by the audience there. Tossing in the 5 stars, rating, reviewing, getting it all done. So our reward to the audience for keeping spreading the good word of DGen is to hook you up with a free Super Bowl Squares contest. Ryan didn't want to give out one, award, one square, no reverses, just simple. Final square, final score, winner take all, $1,000 up for grabs. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares.
I have a question, hypothetical question. You seem to be in a good mood, so maybe the audience will benefit. I'm pretty confident that we will have a situation where we could potentially fill up 2 squares.
Okay.
Do we potentially have a second, or do we tell all those people, much like in Mad Max, you're gonna have to sit down here in the desert, and maybe once in a while I'll sprinkle water on your face?
Okay. Well, let's do it this way, Ryan.
We have not discussed this before the show.
Originally, my plan was to randomly choose 100 names from the list, but I think what better is let's extend it. But the catch is, if we don't get to 200, the second squares doesn't happen. Second contest doesn't happen.
Do you want me to announce how many we have right now?
Sure. Where are we at? We get 80s, 90s, 88. All right. So still 12 squares left to get in on the original one.
But if we go over, we have to get to 200.
Have to get to 200. And Ryan, put in the hard stop at 200, so we don't take more than 200 names. I like this, and it's a challenge to the audience. You want that second square, and do we allow the same person? No, keep it open for no repeats.
No repeats. So it's the same. Yeah, it's the same entry form. And if I catch you entering twice, and I'm not in a good mood, I might just delete both your names. So don't try to cheat.
And a shout out to the chat.
And whoever entered as D's nuts also. I read these, please.
Yeah, don't think just because you send in a phony name, Mike Oxmall, you are not going to be involved in the squares. Send in the real name. Email. Shout out to Trevor. He's been listening since 2016.
Really? Since
the Sam Bradford is not a franchise quarterback drop.
That's impressive.
That is an all-timer. And maybe we got to bring that back.
That was in the real old days.
Yeah, that was probably my garage.
Pre-YouTube. My garage didn't exist yet. That house was purchased in summer of 2017.
Okay. Yeah. So we've been on quite the journey from my garage, which was a tiny 1-car garage, to Ryan's garage, which was a spacious 2-car garage, up to the office that we stand in currently.
Yeah. But yes, agreed.
Well, and then also, where did we record before that?
Your bedroom.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was just like hunched over one desk.
I have a memory of the Benton Way place, a table maybe in the corner of your bedroom. Yeah, potentially.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Sounds very intimate.
Nice 100 square foot room. Crank it out.
Maybe
podcast.
I have people have asked, because those episodes have been offline.
Yeah.
What if we just started releasing them for the Patreon?
Oh, 100%.
And listening to them back, kind of Mystery Science Theater style.
Well, and we did that for the if you're not on the Patreon, we did a listen back to, and it's also a release. We never put out the Brandon Lang episode. Of course, Brandon Lang was the guy who Matthew McConaughey's character and Two for the Money was based off of. We interviewed him. It was kind of a weird interview, and
it was 3 years ago, like today, basically 3 years ago to this week.
Or no, I think it was 4, right?
No, it was the first. That was the first year we were doing it in Los Angeles. So whenever the LA Super Bowl was.
So it was the 2021 season. Yeah, that makes sense. 2021 season, but it was actually 2022, February of 2022. So we recorded it, and it was just like weird vibes. He said a bunch of like weird stuff before and after. You'll see. Like if you watch it, it's funny watching back, and it was great. So if you're not in there, good reason to hop in. SportsGamblingPodcast.com.
Very worth it.
/Patreon. And Jaddy May checking in. Been staying away from everything to make time go faster, not freak out. Yes, Jaddy May's an Eagles fan. It is.
Well, last time we spoke to him, he was telling everyone they can suck a stick. So I hope.
Well, he hit the crazy multi-touchdown parlay for Hurts, and Saquon. So Jaddy May probably still living off that high and cashing. I think it was like 500 to 1, something crazy.
None of the fucks to give.
Shout out to Kev in the chat. Chat is lit. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to get to it. We have 15 props, and we're going to be giving out 59 total props for Super Bowl 59. We're going to do 15 Eagles tonight, 15 Chiefs props tomorrow, then 15-ish exotic ones.
We might punt like
exotic special teams.
I mean, I think you can exotic. I think we maybe will either talk about squares on that day or maybe kick that over to talk about it with CJ on Thursday.
And then CJ, we are doing official ladder segments.
Yep.
With CJ, so that'll be fun, and that's the schedule. And then Friday night, VSiN show again. If you happen to be out for the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, hit us up. We'll be at the Circa. Our show wraps 11 o'clock local time. We'll be hanging out, cracking some cold ones. Chilling at the Legacy Club, the bar, wherever the action's at. So hit us up. Hit us up if you're planning on coming out.
I'm gonna be maxing out my credit limit at the Circa. So
Ryan's gonna be having fun, and it's gonna be.
I've been talking about this for at least a month. Very excited for this day.
The day has come. Finally getting that marker over at the Circa there.
Finally getting a hold of the marker.
All right. We got a little business to knock out, and then let's get to the picks. Of course, it is the Super Bowl. You can't have the Super Bowl without DraftKings. It's not the itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. It's the Super Bowl. You heard how excited I was. It's the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't need to tell you guys it's the Super Bowl. If you're listening to this and you go, "Oh wait, it's the Super Bowl," reminds me of that Simpsons where the pastor on Sunday on the Super Bowl, he's like, "I'm so glad everyone came in spite of the big game being on," and the guy goes, "Wait, the big game," runs out of church. But I go to the church of DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. And scoring touchdowns. We know it matters. We love betting touchdowns on DraftKings, aka shout out to our TDs. I looked at my props. I have multiple TD bets. Of course, we're going to be giving out our first touchdowns later on in the week. But if you haven't signed up with DraftKings, what are you waiting for? New customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. You can do some damage with some bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. And Kramer, of course, we're talking NFL props, and I got my Rhythm app here, right here, fired up.
Where?
That's right
in front of you. Okay.
Yeah, right in front of me. I got Rhythm. Love Rhythm. It is it's a great tool. And look at this. This is.
I'm looking.
I just clicked NFL props. What does Rhythm recommend?
Barkley under.
Patrick Mahomes under 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Okay. Okay.
They have it. Well, because you're getting a nice plus price at plus 126. They have the win probability of 51.5%. So if you have a bet you believe has a 51.5% chance of hitting, you're getting plus 125. That is, of course, is going to be a smash play. Love Rhythm. Great for college basketball, NBA. They got it all. And of course, golf too. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RATHMM. Use that link to get your 7-day free trial today and start betting smarter with Rhythm. All right, Kramer, let's get to it. What is your first prop?
So, we were talking special teams. I actually put this in with the Eagles because I think specifically if the Eagles are kicking off in this game, so Chiefs win the toss, Chiefs defer, Eagles kick off. I love the idea of this being a return. No touchback plus 230.
Yes.
I'm going big on this.
Yes.
Hopefully you decide to maybe this is the company bet.
I'm in.
Because what an electric way to start the game. Plus 230 on. I mean, we kind of broke this down on the VSiN show, but the idea that you're getting this juicy price on a no touchback because of two things. One, just the way that the league has generally played the new kickoff rule, and two, recency bias over the last couple years.
Yep.
Last 3 have been a touchback, but historically, I believe it's only 9 out of 58.
I've been touchbacks.
So,
yeah, and
we've had deep dives in years past about the type of football and looking into the commemorative ball being a little bit harder, maybe the kickers being juiced up. But I think the new rule is actually why I like this.
Yeah,
I think there's more benefit to attempt to pin them in, and both teams have also shown a willingness to return the ball, which I believe the Chiefs returner, who I'm spacing on his name right now, but I believe he has a green light for every kick. And so I also had a thought since we've spoken about this prop on VSiN, Sean.
Nico Remigio, and he's been good.
Is that feels? I'm gonna guess someone's gonna reach out and let us know that wasn't 100% correct. But I also think an out of bounds kick does go for our favor in this as well.
Oh, really?
It's not a touchback. It's a penalty. So
yeah, okay.
Worth noting. This should not be a dog this big, right?
No, and I am also on this. I think I'm going to put it in my exotics special teams category because I had a bunch of Eagles.
Yeah, it made sense. You kind of slot them in where they fit.
But I'm 100% with you, Ryan. We'll make this a company play when we're out.
Oh my god,
out there in Vegas.
It needs to be big enough to where it's going to be hilarious if it wins.
Well,
because what happened last year with the Kyle Juszczyk thing, not to talk about the Kyle Juszczyk first reception, is it ruined the rest of the show. I didn't care if I lost any other bets. It didn't matter. Like it was the first time in my life my Super Bowl was profitable with nothing else happening.
Also too, Ryan, you're going to be in a different headspace than me. Regardless of that outcome, I'm still going to be pretty locked into the Super Bowl.
That's the other reason I want to do a big bet on this with you, because I want to see how it affects your psyche, win or loss.
No, I'm co-signing this. And just one more point. Let's go back. Remember all that talk about the graphics, the animations. Hey, this is the landing zone. This is what's happening. And you remember in the
they get to dust those off and run them back.
Well, they might, because people
imagine Tom Brady in front of 60 million people trying to explain the new landing kickoff zone. Come on.
Well, and you remember Sup Boy, who is a kickoff specialist. He loved this as well. So a lot of reasons
thought it was he laughed at it. It was an audible chuckle at the idea that this is the price. He actually reached out, was like, "Hey, how do I get down on the Circa?" I'm like, "Well, I think you got to be in Nevada, whatever." And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I found a number out there." So I don't remember where he said he found it, but it's out there. So I think it's not being. And he also pointed out that these teams specifically have been returning the ball, and so I don't really. They're not watching the game, Sean.
No. For me, let's start it off with the man. I'm rocking his jersey. I'm gonna have I think I'm gonna be playing this guy a bunch of ways. You'll see in these next few props. But DeVonta Smith over 51.5 receiving yards. He has a good history against the Chiefs, as I tweeted out on X. 7 for 122. Now some of that was in garbage, and that was in Hurts's first year as a starter. Then in the Super Bowl, he was 6 for 99, and then in that regular and had one that like I think he caught, but there was like was it complete catch? It was one of those weird ones if you remember the Super Bowl. And then last time they played the Chiefs, last time he played the Chiefs was 6 for 99. Super Bowl was 7 for 100, or maybe it's the other way around. Point is, 6 for 99 is the worst he's ever had game wise against the Chiefs. I think it's a good matchup. And go back to Matt Collins. Like, I think he's going to be running some similar Matt Collins type routes. Matt Collins gave this Chiefs secondary problems. Matt Collins 3 for 73 and a touchdown. So I'm going to just rattle these all off, Ryan, because they're all similar nuggets, similar handicaps. I also like DeVonta Smith race to 20 receiving yards at plus 610. One, I think on the Eagles side, they like to get DeVonta going early. If you recall in the Commanders game, the first catch he had was a 20-yard catch. So he hit the first to 20. He also hit longest reception over 19.5. So I'm also going to be playing that. The race to 20 yards is plus 610. To me, this is a pricing error. Now, certainly AJ Brown could get it. Maybe Kelsey, maybe Worthy does get that deep shot, but the Chiefs really do spread the ball around. And I would be surprised if anyone else on the Eagles besides AJ Brown beat out DeVonta Smith to get to those 20 receiving yards. If it is AJ Brown, sure, but AJ Brown in my mind shouldn't be this big of a favorite over DeVonta. So I like DeVonta race to 20 receiving yards. And then I mentioned the longest reception over 19.5. His longest catch is against KC, 37, 41, 45. Hey, while we're here, let's also take DeVonta Smith to record a 40-yard plus catch. That's 7-1. So 4 early Super Bowl props, all DeVonta Smith, all optimistic. I'll go biggest on the over 51.5, but then I think the 6-1. I mean, you could hit the 6-1 and the 7-1 on the same play. So I think they're all pretty solid here.
The 40+ yard catch, versus longest catch in the game. The longest play is opened at 48.5, is pretty much consensus 40.5 now. So that came down pretty heavy. We had pointed this out on the VSiN show that it had come under a number of years in a row. A lot of those plays right in that low 40 range. So, the number now suggesting that the longest play in the game will be around that. And if he has the longest play in the game, he's the longest reception, which you can find at around plus 650 versus the 7-1 for him to get an over 40-yard catch. Interesting kind of evaluation for you there, but
yeah, I'll stick with what I got here, but I think they're both probably good. Cause I think he's going to have a couple big plays, like a 20 and a 45-yarder. I mean, the race to 20 being plus 610 is crazy to me.
I almost feel like I need to have, cause the layout of how I think the game is going to go involves Hurts being forced into more passing opportunities. So in the next couple minutes, I probably need to figure out a way to play some Tetris and slide what's the receptions? Because I come back to the idea that he's going to be operating in the space that I think you can beat the Chiefs. And I don't know if it's going to be down the field like you're describing.
No, but I mean, when I rewatch,
just saying the Matt Collins comparison.
Matt Collins, but also not necessarily like just vertically. But if you remember on the we rewatched, and I feel like people are talking about rewatching Super Bowl 57. I think a better analysis or you get a better possible preview is the Eagles in 2023 when they went into Kansas City, beat them 21-17, kind of an ugly game, sloppy at some times. Hurts had a great drive to help ice the game. There was a big drop on the other side for the Chiefs there. I think the game script's going to be somewhere in between that ugly game and then that super clean game of Super Bowl 57 where it was just high scoring, flying 38-35. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. But those crossing routes that DeVonta runs, where they boot action, Hurts to the right, get him rolling in the pocket to his right, and have DeVonta run those like deep ins or deep square, whatever you call them. I think that's going to be where he finds some good opportunities.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'll jump in since we're having,
and like one of those could be 20 yards, like almost exactly what you saw in Washington to start off.
I just relegated one of my more like game type props to the exotic show. So to fit okay, wow. Oh, so you can actually play an all time. No, I'll go four. I'll just play the 4.5. You can get 4.5 plus 110. So I'm going to take the over receptions 4.5 plus 110.
Yeah, and I obviously like that. I'm leaning more into the yards because I think it could be a couple of these chunk stuff. But I think him going for 5 for 90 or something like that. Certainly in the mix. And I see Damian there saying, I know Jahan Dotson has not been targeted in 2 weeks. Over 2.5 yards is wildly disrespectful for someone who got 37 and 38 snaps in both playoff games. Yeah, Damian, we're going to talk about him in a second, but I think if you're playing the Dotson stuff, there's some fun ways to take some long shot stuff on it instead of just the even money at 2.5, which I'm not against, but I think if you're playing Jahan Dotson to do some stuff, I think you go long shot stuff first. But Kramer, I gave out 4, but it was all looped into the DeVonta.
Well, let's talk about
Smith
Jahan Dotson. You convinced me that's the first reception play for the Eagles.
Yeah, and so shop around. We found a price. Eagles first reception. Jahan Dotson 20-1. I actually walked through all the Eagles game logs, and the first reception, it's not like they have a favorite. You know what I mean? And
well, I was shocked. So I was pricing this out, and I was shocked to find like Circa has Goddard as the favorite for first reception.
So and
most of them have basically a cluster of Goddard, Smith, and Brown, which makes sense. Then you have a step down to where Barkley exists.
Yeah.
And then you have basically another big step down to like Dotson, Calcaterra, Gainwell tier.
So Ryan, you remember last year with the Kyle Juszczyk, you want to give your quarterback, a guy like Hurts, something where he's moving a little bit, something simple, get him that first completion, get it going. Right. And so they've done this play before with Goddard where it's a little play action, a little boot, a check down to Goddard. That could certainly be the play, but I'm not playing the chalk here. Dotson on like a quick bubble screen or something like that they've done. And I walked through the, starting with the Washington game, Goddard first catch, Dotson, DeVonta, Calcaterra. That was when Goddard was out. Dotson again, Barkley was randomly in there, Goddard, Dotson, AJ Brown, Calcaterra, I think Goddard was out. AJ Brown, DeVonta. And then it goes before the bye week. I didn't feel like the stuff before the bye week was worth including, but Dotson getting 3 first catches post bye week, and you're getting him at 20-1 just for the Eagles side. I think's a great price. So I'm also on that as well, Ryan.
Price this out too, because his game price is 30-1. Like the same shop that we found the 20-1, his game price is 30-1.
Yeah.
And so that like obviously you would probably rather take the 20-1 and not have the risk of the Chiefs starting with the ball. Yeah, so we're both on that at 20-1. This is not, I don't have the same level of confidence. Like this will not be in the VSiN guide. This is not Kyle Juszczyk first reception banger. I mean, that was just, I was screaming about that price being wrong for 2 weeks.
Well, this one to me, I think it's a long shot that has a chance at hitting. At 20-1, I think you could do much worse. And and even maybe first touchdown, because the first catch in the Packers game was a touchdown. So certainly that was game script, but if the Eagles get favorable field position, run the ball a bunch, maybe a couple incomplete passes, but they get some first downs, Dotson does something, and Dotson has actually had some. To Damian's point when he was mentioning the receiving yards, he's had some long catches too. So Dotson certainly, I could see me putting him in the first touchdown sprinkle there as well. So we're both on the Dotson first Eagles catch.
I'll throw another one out then.
Okay.
And I assume we're both on this. Maybe you're not willing to put this out because it's negative, but Jalen Hurts First pass incomplete plus 215. The prices on the first pass incomplete both ways, which of course system play it every year. For them both to be north of 2-1 is something I can't remember. Like, can you remember a year where we've had both north of 2-1, Sean?
No, it's crazy because last year both did complete it. So still,
it's just like that crazy price. So yeah, Jalen Hurts first pass incomplete, and then I'll give you one more. Jalen Hurts. Actually, I have a bunch of Jalen Hurts stuff, so I'll just rattle it all.
Sure.
Jalen Hurts first rush.
Okay.
Over 4.5 yards plus 115. You talked about this a little bit. That establishing Jalen as a reason that you have to focus on him to get Barkley going, or whatever your verbiage was. I also think, just in general, the way that I think Spags is going to defend this Eagles team, or attempt to, they're going to sell out on Barkley. If Hurts is smart, and I'm sure the coaches will be telling him this, there's going to be an option for him to pull that ball and keep it.
So yeah, and to your point,
so for 4.5 yards, it feels like there's so many versions. Also, a drop back pass where there's delayed blitz pressure where he now has this massive void to run into. I see big gainers here. So the fact that this is plus 110, or sorry, plus 115, this will be one of my more heavily invested Jalen Hurts prop. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, the only
you worried about the sneak.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think that's how you could get burned here. Or
I think I agree with what you've said. I think they're not going to get to a sneak situation before he's already run.
And now, Ryan, this was on my sheet. I was going back and forth on it. I almost like Jalen Hurts over 11.5 longest rush better than I like his first rush, just because he has shown sometimes to, our own demise, or, he's shown an ability to be super conservative, both with taking shots and also not turning it over. So if he gets out to the edge and there's not much there, okay, he'll take a 0-yard gain, or he'll take 1 or 2. But I think at some point in the game, to your point, Spags and the Chiefs, I think, are going to be doing some run blitzes that create some lanes and some opportunities on the read option. I feel very good that he's going to break one. I just don't know when it is.
Appreciate the offer. I also want this to be a first.
Okay.
So it happens early in the game.
No, because I looked at this one too. I'm just giving you where my head was at.
Also, playing again, I think they're going to put this game in Jalen Hurts' hands. They are going to do everything to not be defeated like many have before to Barkley. 8.5 rush attempts over, 27.5 pass attempts over.
And so you got those rush attempts will be great. End of the game, kneeling it out, becoming Super Bowl champs.
There's certainly a little that's one of the potential outcomes that get you there. Or just this game is one. This is a game where Jalen Hurts is going to drop back a number of times.
And you're 100% that's 8.5. For some reason I thought this was like 9.5 or 10.
So this was pulled from the Circa probably.
Okay.
Before the show. Paper tickets for all of these, Sean.
No, I didn't realize it was that low. Yeah, love that at 8.5.
I mean, certainly this number is all over the place, because I have seen I've seen the yardage prop as low as 35.5 and as high as 43.5. So shop around.
This is a guy I do have a long shot ticket on to win the MVP. Give me Nolan Smith. Over a quarter sack is -110. Now you can play him to get a full sack at +105. I'll take the over a quarter sack just in case you get that half sack that doesn't count or whatever. I think the price difference I'm fine with. And Nolan Smith to get 2 sacks, 6-1. He's had 4 sacks in the 3 playoff games. He already had a 2-sack game. He now has the tied for the lead for most Eagles sacks in playoff history. And there's a play there, his sack of Jaden Daniels, if you recall it. Jaden Daniels completely healthy, very elusive in the pocket. Now he was Jaden Daniels boots out to his right. Nolan Smith beats the left tackle, tracks him down, and makes a shoelace tackle on him. Again, why I'm high on the Eagles defense is they rally around the football and they complete the tackles. Patrick Mahomes, obviously he's a great improviser in the passing game, great at finding guys downfield. He's gonna every Eagles defender has got to be busting their ass to slow this guy down. It's going to be a Herculean task slowing him down. I do think they're up for it, in part because of their tackling and the level of tackling I've seen from this team, and guys like Nolan Smith, where Jaden Daniels beats a lot of guys to the edge there. And he's pretty good at not taking sacks. So the fact that Nolan Smith was able to track him down, and Patty Mahomes is not going to go down easy. So if there's one guy that has the speed and elusiveness, and I think they are going to help their guards out, and they've had issues at left tackle. So there's just a lot of stuff aligning for Nolan Smith to have a big game for me. So I'll do, like 2 units on just the over a quarter sack, and then a smaller play on the 6-1. Cause I think him getting 2 sacks definitely in the mix. And then if he gets 2 sacks, then I'm going to start thinking about, potential MVP.
That would be a heck of a ladder.
Yeah, well, Von Miller got it in 2.5 sacks. Again, the Nolan Smith MVP candidacy, it's 400-1 for a reason. I'm also going to take a sprinkle on a couple of the secondary guys. We'll give those out officially on the exotics, but like Reed Blankenship, which we'll talk about here in a second. I think he's intriguing. So, Kramer, what are some more Eagles props?
Eagles first time out. I liked what Dick Puncher was saying about the idea that they would be the first team to call a timeout, with the combination of both the Hurts willingness and Sirianni's willingness to discard a first half timeout because they're meaningless to get everything right. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, the only counter. And I think it's Dick.
You want to have action on this too, because when that first timeout's called, you want to be able to freak out the people at your Super Bowl party. But really, you bet on that?
So many people.
What? You bet on the timeout? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, woman?
People always, if you're listening to the show, you probably have had this experience where they're
really?
like, "Wait,
you can bet on that?
What? You can do that? What? You guys are crazy."
No, you didn't.
It's like, I'm not even telling you the craziest stuff.
I mean, imagine people trying to understand Kyle Juszczyk last year. Like, what? Game just started,
and you're already Ryan was already cutting a video.
The game. I said it already, but the rest of the game was rendered irrelevant. I can only hope that happens again with our touchback bet.
Yeah, I like the touchback bet. I was gonna be on it anyway, but then because the Eagles guys I think are interested in returning, and the Chiefs guy definitely wants to return it. To me, it's
might be a sign that book just doesn't want to.
No, it's the inner excellence book keeps falling down.
Someone's inner excellence is out of balance, causing the book to fall over.
Okay, I do think Patrick Mahomes throws an interception. I'm going to be playing that. Spoiler alert: I will be playing that.
Really?
On the Chiefs side.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. 15 Chiefs props. I'm going to be very interested to see how you fill that one out.
There's a lot of unders that are jumping out of my model. First off, give me Reed Blankenship. He's had 4 interceptions this year. He had 4 the previous year. If you go back to the 2023 game where Reed played, he didn't get the interception, but Bayer did. Safety no longer with us. Probably part of the reason why 2023 totally hit the shits. The secondary was just horrible. Reed Blankenship was a rare bright spot back in 2023. So I will take Reed Blankenship INT plus 775, and just if it happens to happen,
is this a real price?
Reed Blankenship 2 interceptions is 120-1.
Really?
Now,
what's his MVP?
Well, that's also going to be on that.
Okay.
It's like 500-1.
Got it.
Now, I know what you're saying. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to throw any interceptions. If Patrick Mahomes throws interceptions, from what I've seen breaking down the film,
interesting,
it's going to be either to the safeties or the linebackers. Easy, who is very sharp in this market. He liked a Zach Bond interception. I'm going to go with Reed Blankenship just because he has a great nose for the ball. He's had some tip balls. He's also iced a number of Eagles wins with interceptions at the end there. And you look at the Chiefs Bills game, Taylor Rapp was one of the guys. Taylor Rapp and Terrell Bernard, safety and linebacker. I don't think he's going to try and attack Quinyon Mitchell Maybe he tries to attack Slay, but I would be surprised if he tries to attack Quinyon Mitchell. Even though Quinyon's a rookie, this is a big stage. I would be surprised if he attacks him. So that makes me think it's going to be less interception opportunities for Quinyon. I think Reed could have himself a game. He's just one of those. This is partially gut feeling, but also like he's a guy who has a nose for the ball. He's kind of due.
I like this.
He's great at getting tip balls.
What number does he wear?
32.
Okay, so you have to go place. We're gonna walk up to a roulette wheel.
Okay.
You're gonna drop.
And shout out to the listener who I ran into Circuit. He was playing different numbers.
Nice.
In the and using it as a system for who to play. I did select 32 in Ryan Square's pool.
Nice.
In honor of Reed Blankenship.
Wow. Okay.
Now you could make a case for Cooper DeJean or Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who I like.
What number is he?
Chauncey, I think
they got to be less than 36 to work for the roulette thing.
Chauncey is. He's 23. I want to say.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, let me double check that.
You spray the board. Spray the roulette board. See what happens.
I like that. No, he switched to 8. That's it.
A lot of low numbers.
Reed is 32, and then Cooper DeJean is 33.
All right.
In honor, I'm sure it's a Larry Bird homage.
Yeah. Exciting.
It just seems like a Larry Bird type guy. But Reed has been our guy throughout the year. I think this is his spot. But Quinyon, who didn't have any interceptions in the regular season, has had 2 in the postseason. So maybe he's the guy. I don't know. I think the safety linebacker stuff is the way to play the Mahomes interception.
Let's see. Do you want to do? Should we? I'll skip ahead to another one that I grifted from one of our callers on the Super Bowl pick show.
Okay.
But Braden Mann to have a touchback.
All right.
I even got validation from CJ. He said, "Yep, this is a bad number. Plus 265 to get a touchback." He said he's going to boom run right through the back of the end zone. So yeah, I will say, if you don't have any action on punts, they become boring because everything else you have action on.
Here's what I would also. Ryan, did you look at the total number of punts?
I assume it's like in that weird. Is it low, like 6.5 or 7.5?
I'm gonna double check this. I swear to God, it was 3.5 or something crazy.
That's wrong.
No, I'm telling you, it was something like ridiculously low.
By the way, like, so a game like this historically, I feel like the number would have started at like 8.5.
Oh, you're right. I was looking at Brandon Mann's total punts is 3.5.
Okay, what's the number?
Total number is 6.5. I am sharp. I would take. Yeah, I knew that wasn't right when it was 3.5.
That still feels like an over. Like it.
You think the over 6.5 punts? I would actually say under. And this is the psychology, at least on the Eagles side. Going back to Super Bowl 57, Nick Sirianni took a ton of heat for punting late against the Chiefs. And I think that idea of like, oh, we're giving the ball back to the Chiefs. We can't do that. We really value time of possession. And Jake Elliott hasn't been as money as he has been from previously long distances. I think that would lead to less Eagles punts. Now, if you really think it's going to be a grinded out defensive struggle, I got it in between there, but
I think the idea that you have a tightly contested game where there's 7 drives that are ended on the negative side of the field and turn into punts because either you're not looking to kick that long field goal, or which, by the way, the Circa has 55-yard field goal, or will there be a 55+ yard field goal at plus 675?
I'm not touching that.
Exactly, because I don't think either coach is going to be dying. So anyway, yeah,
I'm not touching any of the punting stuff, but I
would play over before under, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'll give out a play on that. I'm sure. Eagles no 4th down conversions, 3-1.
Ooh.
This price is crazy. It's twice the price that the Chiefs have. This is just for the Eagles to not have a 4th down conversion. Sean, if you had to guess, how many 4th down conversion attempts have they had in the postseason so far?
Well, that's interesting. I would say 4th and 5 where Jalen Hurts hit that bomb. Trying to think. Let's say, how many conversions have they had? Is that what you're saying?
Attempts.
Oh, I would say 4.
They've only had 3. They've converted all 3, 1 per game. But you're telling me for something that's only happened, and I understand that you're probably thinking, well, if you think the Eagles are going to lose, they might be in a situation where they have to go for it. Sure. And maybe they get defeated, but this is essentially the reason they're priced so heavy on the yes is because everyone's like, well, when they get in 4th and 1, it's an automatic play. What if they don't get in a 4th and 1?
No,
what if they've only had 3 attempts? This shouldn't be 3-1. This should not be 3-1.
So here's my take. They're going to convert a 4th down, but you're getting a good price. So that's I'm with you that
for something that's happened once in each of the previous 3 games in the postseason. And I understand the Super Bowl and there's nothing to lose. So they're gonna, but this is an implied, hey, they're gonna get a tush push. It's minus 250 or whatever. That's great. Minus 250 that they're gonna get a.
So I wouldn't play yes. I do think yes happens, but to your point, 3-1 is a good price. I'm not going to talk
fucking great price.
Ryan, you know what's a great price? Free. If it's free, it's for me. And that's why I got the Edge Boost card, baby. The premier Visa debit card for bettors. Love this Edge Boost card. Again, it's awesome. We've all had those issues. Reloading your apps, your account, your casino, whatever it is. And Edge Boost is designed for people who love reloading at sportsbooks, DFS, sweepstakes, casinos. You can avoid a bunch of cash advance fees that your credit card or debit card might charge you. ATM fees. Ryan, I love going to Vegas.
Forget about it.
I love going to Vegas, but there's nothing worse than you get there and you're like, I forgot to take cash out. And then it's like, you use the debit card at the ATM and you're paying $10-12. You don't want to do that. And Edge Boost is great because you get cash back, which is perfect for some like long shot bets. You want to take your cash back that you earned and say put it on Reed Blankenship MVP at 500-1. That's pretty fun, and it was free. It's great. So sign up at edgeboost.bet. Use our promo code SGPN so you get the higher cashback rewards. That's the key. You want the higher status. And they start you off at tier 2. So you got to use the promo code edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. It's free, no credit checks, FDIC insured, and you toss us a bone here at the network. And it is just great to use. Honestly, I'm glad they came on as a sponsor. So looking forward for more. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, and of course Underdog. New customers, they get a Travis Kelce free pick if you sign up before the big game. You guys know what the big game is. I also saw Ryan get a no sweat token. I just got a crazy profit boost as well. They're always kind of hooking you up, and highly recommend checking out their YouTube, Discord, and that kind of stuff, because they really go out of their way to crowbar in some boosts. I'm sure they got 60% profit boost. $100 max. That's huge, Ryan. And we've been giving out 1 play per episode for our massive Underdog entry, where we're going to take down Underdog, max out some winnings. It seems like we have some agreement on DeVonta Smith having a game. I don't mind playing receptions. I don't mind playing yards. What do you what's the way you would like to attack DeVonta in this game? Over longest catch, over total yards. I mean, Underdog has it at 50.5, receptions 4.5. First quarter receptions.
I would say either receptions, yards, or longest catch.
Reception, yards, or longest catch. I do really like that longest catch. He's just destroyed that number.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, they have longest reception at 20.5. We still good with that?
Does that change your opinion?
No, I'm fine with it.
Let's play.
All right. So
if it's 20, that would be horrible. It's almost like we shouldn't play it now just because we talked.
Okay, fine. Then we'll just do the yards.
Yeah,
all
go
right.
yards.
Higher on DeVonta Smith. Higher, 50.5 receiving yards. And so we also had on last week's or yesterday's episode 6.5 rush attempts higher for Patty Mahomes, aka Showtime Mahomes. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Plus money on the Eagles to get 3 sacks all day. All day.
I don't hate that. That almost made my list.
It's plus 110 over 2.5 sacks. I mean, this is a play on the Eagles defense. I think they're good at tackling, I think there's going to be a play or two about, there's going to be like a play or two where it's close to getting to the line of scrimmage and some good tackling.
You've kind of already bet this with the 2 sacks on.
Yeah. So if I'm already there, why not take a little sprinkle on the over 2.5 sacks plus 110? And I appreciate the chat checking in. Am I still sensitive about the Eagles? No, I'm just fired up, man. I also blame. I got this Japanese whiskey, Toki whiskey. I think it was messing with my mind. I'm normally a Jameson guy. Well, you know,
this is great modern day accountability.
No, I'm gonna throw.
What are we doing here?
No, I think the Japanese whiskey may have got me a little fired up. My body is programmed for Jameson. Okay, I love Jameson, but I got a bottle of Toki whiskey.
What the fuck?
Which
is
I love.
Right now?
Have you had Toki whiskey, right?
I saw it's a very nice bottle.
It's a great great bottle.
I was like, wow, which classy gentleman came through the office?
But you know, as a guy who manages a bunch of substances, sometimes certain whiskeys rattle certain wires the wrong way.
Okay, and that was causing you to be on edge.
No, but if I was to throw anyone under the bus, it would be Toki whiskey.
It's the whiskey's fault.
Partially, yes.
Okay.
But also,
it's not the lunar cycle.
I'm calm, cool, and collected. I just have a bunch of energy jacked up for this game. And I think knocking out the Super Bowl song was a very cathartic experience. Got me in a right headspace.
That's wild. Yeah. I want to know what happened that caused you to look introspectively at the whiskey causing problems. That's what I'm worried about. There's a big crash sometime in the last couple of days. Sean's looking at blaming the whiskey.
No, I mean, I'm not going to take personal responsibility. I'll find someone to throw under the bus.
Poor guy.
2 cents saying it's a Super Bowl plus 110. Give us out a 1,000 3-leg parlay. Well, I've given you out Reed Blankenship, Super Bowl MVP. So that's 500 to 1. Now you could also, depending on your shop, take Reed Blankenship 2 interceptions at 120 to 1, parlay that with Eagles money line, and that's going to put you damn near close to 1,000 to 1 probably.
Great idea. We'll add some same game parlays to the Thursday show with CJ.
Okay. Yeah, Thursday is going to be
one for each team. We'll do a ladder for each team, a parlay for each team, first touchdown.
Well, and a D-Gen too.
Leaders. Yeah. What do you mean?
Oh, is the same game parlay the D-Gen?
Yeah, the D-Gen parlay. Sorry, SGP.
SGP does SGPs
as they call it. Goddard anytime touchdown. You told me that's the move. Plus 360.
I'm also on that.
It's tight ends against the Chiefs. We've been hitting it and missing it a little bit. Knox didn't get home with us.
Well,
but I'm also spraying Calcaterra because the anytime's 22 to 1. And I'm taking the Calcaterra over a half yard because it's plus 130. I almost played first reception. I just routinely was told that's too cute. It's too cute. Don't play Calcaterra first reception. I'm like, all right, but I do think this guy's getting on the field, and here's why. The Chiefs are going to load up, and I do think one of the ways the Eagles can say "fuck you" is by running out their heavy personnel and putting Calcaterra on the field. And so, do I think there's an opportunity for him to have a play action opportunity to catch a pass? Yes, 100% I do in this game.
Okay,
so, plus 130.
Here's how I would phrase it and sell it. Offensive lineman to catch a pass is 40 to 1, or offensive lineman to score touchdowns 45 to 1. Calcaterra to score a touchdown 22 to 1. Much better bet.
We actually, CJ and
much higher percentage of hitting.
Yeah, he's had targets. I guess.
Yeah.
So we were breaking down the various lineman opportunities. Circa has a 300-pound thing. Yeah. There's places offering catch, touchdown. We did settle in on if the catch and the touchdown price are similar, you should take the catch. Here's why: deflected pass caught by lineman. Imagine like Mailata. Jalen Hurts throws a ball, bounces off a linebacker's helmet, and Mailata sees it, runs over and catches it. You get to cash that sweet 40 to 1. I didn't really consider that version of how a lineman could get that catch, but certainly think that's one.
I was looking at Calcaterra, was considering it, but I'm going to pivot my long shot anytime, and because I think there's a number of ways this might get home.
Welcome back.
Is Will Shipley anytime touchdown. DraftKings Sportsbook promo code SGP has this listed at 14-1. Kenny Gainwell. Now some of this we'll have to do some. We're taping this on a Monday night, so we'll see. But Kenny Gainwell was still in the concussion protocol on Monday night. Now certainly there is those situations where it's like, well, they didn't practice and you can't clear until you practice, but they did practice a few days ago. I haven't heard any like positive news off Kenny Gainwell. He got whacked pretty decently. Now I'm keeping an eye.
So you think he could miss?
We'll see.
Is he Kenneth or Kenny now?
Oh, he's Kenny.
Okay.
It's a we'll see, but I think you get a little taste of Will Shipley at 14-1 now. And then if Kenny Gainwell does play, I think he's a fun sprinkle, probably at 3-1. But I would wait on the Gainwell, and there's a chance that Will Shipley doesn't see the field for a snap, so that could get voided. Or Will Shipley is in mop up duty and he gets one in.
Does he not get? Is he not the return guy though?
Will Shipley?
That could screw you there because I'm pretty sure he gets snaps as the returner.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, but he could also get a touchdown as a returner.
Fair. I mean, again, this is why you want to play the MVP.
Yeah,
was doing a deep dive because there. I mean, we would never predict injury, but if there was a player that was dealing with a historic workload, 451 touches, and has played his last 5 games, and I believe 7 out of 8 on beautiful natural grass, and now he travels to artificial turf for the Super Bowl. That we wouldn't ever project something to happen, but if it did, maybe a Will Shipley MVP 1,001 ticket you'd want to have in your pocket too, Sean. I didn't even bring a Will Shipley prop to the table. You brought it, so I had to share that data that I was cultivating.
It's not about Saquon being injured. It's about Kenny Gainwell.
Oh, I know, but it also there's other avenues to this becoming a smash spot. I mean, think about what the adjusted price if there is maybe a little cramp in the calf or something for Saquon, this becomes a -200 play, especially if Gainwell's out with a head injury.
Will Shipley's good too. Like he's got nice burst. I'm saying
Eagles loaded up.
Did you watch him in that Washington game? That dude runs hard.
I wouldn't say he has a huge burst. I would say he's a plotter who, when getting into open space and given time to get up to speed, he can have some success. He's a white guy, Sean. Relax.
I'm just saying. Maybe it's like CJ said, the white angle release, but he looked good in that Washington game, obviously in mop up duty. But Will Shipley getting in, I like that the best of the long shot anytime.
Better than Calcaterra.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm rooting for you on the Calcaterra stuff. It's just a tough needle to thread, but I would say it's much better than the offensive lineman stuff. Although Lane Johnson has caught a touchdown.
Yeah. Josh Sweat to get a sack.
Okay. Yeah.
We were hanging out with the man in the box, who, by the way, he bought a square in my Super Bowl squares pool.
Nice.
So on the private stock one. That some people have emailed me and attempted to badger their way into. His name in that is Man In.
Man In. All right, I like that.
We were discussing how Josh Sweat has fired his representation and plans to hire Drew Rosenhaus, and it's time to get paid. So what do you got to first do? Show out. +185 for him to get a sack in the Super Bowl. That his new representation is certainly going to advise that he gets a sack in the Super Bowl. So. CJ and I discovered this news, and I was like, you know what? I need one more prop. This is perfect. Give me Josh Sweat +1. I did look at his first sack price. It was only +650. I thought better to take this just juicy +185. I found out at the circus, Sean.
Yeah, no, I mean it's yeah. He hasn't had a.
Why are you firing your agent this week though? Like
that's a weird move. Yeah, he hasn't had a sack in the playoffs, but he had 8 in the regular season. It's like him, Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith.
CJ liked the Jalen Hunt as well.
Jalen Hunt's a fun long shot, and then
it's almost like a made up name to get people to say cunt.
like Mike Jalen Oxmal
Hunt.
Yeah, I get. Also, you do have to worry about Brandon Graham maybe taking a couple snaps. We'll see if he actually sees the field. I think he's going to be more there as a.
I was going to say I read that he's not going to play.
Where are you reading that from?
It's just like a speculation. Like he's not done enough work to really do enough to contribute.
It's going to be interesting. He's certainly talking like he's going to play and be ready. Of course. I'm just saying how the coaches feel could be different. I could see him.
He's active
because I think he's going to be active, and I think he'll have a couple snaps. Not necessarily a huge role, but if he's leaving it all in the field. And
was he the one that's stripped Brady?
Yeah.
No.
So
wouldn't that be some?
There's some good juju. I wouldn't be surprised if he sees a couple third downs.
Storybook ending.
No, I guys like that, they're hard to keep off the field. This one chalky as hell, but give me Saquon Barkley over 112.5 rushing yards. It's
real donkey play.
It's crazy high, but they're going to feed Saquon Barkley. Why am I confident in the Eagles winning the game? Because they're going to hand Saquon Barkley the ball a ton. They're not going to give up on the run like the Bills and the Texans did. Saquon Barkley, he's gone over 112.5, 11 out of the last 14 games. That's insane.
I mean, Sean, do I need to explain to you how you're paying a premium here, taking it over on Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl when everyone's betting the over for Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean,
my God, first time here,
you could make a case you're getting a discount. Like last week, it was like almost 128.5.
They were playing against the Command. I mean, come on,
but
slightly different animal.
But the Chiefs are not great against inside zone run. In fact, they give up 4.5 yards per rush against the inside zone.
Okay.
So you would take the under on Saquon?
I'm betting my life that Saquon isn't the reason the Eagles win the game. Yeah.
Okay. So you would take the under on his rushing yards?
Yes.
Okay.
I would take. I would be more inclined to take something that involved him from reaching the end zone, or I'd be more inclined to, maybe. No. Yes. Short answer. Under for me. So.
Okay.
Good luck.
I think he's gonna. Well, and he has that burst, and the narrative just keeps being, we're gonna load the box, we're gonna bring run blitzes. The problem with Barkley is he gets that second level pretty quick, and then that's where you get those big plays. So loading the box can be self-defeating for these defenses.
Yeah, I think it's just everything's gonna flow through Hurts. That's my thought.
Okay.
Last one for me. Eagles team total under 24.5. As you know, final score prediction 26-23. In general, I think I'm on the high end of my simulation, so I think this is going to be an under game. As you see, my anytime touchdown portfolio is really just kind of a fade of a tight end against the Chiefs more than anything, because I don't know how many touchdowns are actually going to be scored in this game. It's something that as I sat down and thought about it more, the more that I think. I've heard a lot of people discuss this as like a clear over game, and I don't quite see it that way. I think there are going to be some moments where the defenses are able to cause the offenses to have to kick field goals, and I think if we have longer drives that turn into 3 points and not 7, this is very easy to find both teams maybe flying under their team total, but certainly the Eagles at 24.5.
Yeah, I got it 32-23.
Yeah.
I do think my niece's score of 27-18 also in the mix. I don't really, as far as like the game flow itself, I don't have a strong take on the total. I guess I'll stick with the 32-23, but I'm not going to be betting on the total.
What's more likely to you? That this game flies under 42 or flies over 56?
That's tough. I guess I would say flies over is, well, again, 38-35 was Super Bowl 57.
Yeah.
21-17 was when they played last in 23.
Feels more like
I think it's going to be in between those two. Split the difference.
I see. I feel like it's going to be
38-68. So I think not to be the guys, I think the number's right. I think it's going to be around low 50s.
Oh, the total? Yeah. Oh yeah, the total's great. It's right on it. I mean, I'm predicting 49 points. So
again, it's a Super Bowl. They start slow. The Eagles have a good defense.
I'm predicting a push, Sean.
Okay,
on the total.
I mean, how can you not take Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns plus 550?
Wow. Okay.
He's their goal line back. He's had multi touchdown games in the playoffs in big spots. Obviously, the last time they played in the Super Bowl, he had 3 touchdowns. His last game, he had 3 touchdowns. He's had 17 multi touchdown games. I think he gets one here.
I mean,
And so they do.
I don't have a ton of argument here.
They do the design runs for him inside the 10, and then anything within the 3-yard line, they're going to shove it in, and he's going to get in there. So,
yeah, I mean, this is for me. It's just how many touchdowns are getting scored in this game. Over under 5.5 touchdowns. You going over total in the game?
Over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I don't feel. I feel like it's under.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you on total scoring.
We're just total guys.
Sword
fighting over the total.
No, I like Jalen Hurts to have 2, and I like Goddard to have an anytime, and then I'll probably sprinkle some obviously first touchdown stuff.
Does Hurts throw for any?
Yeah.
1 or 2
to Goddard.
Just 1.
Yeah, I think Hurts 2 rushing, Saquon in there, and a pass to Goddard. So he has 3 total touchdowns. Saquon gets 1. Maybe DeVonta gets 1, but he's weird. He hasn't had as much luck getting in the end zone. He gets these deep chunk plays. Last play for me. I think the Eagles win by 9 points. So I'm going to take the Eagles by 7.5.
Nice alt number.
Plus 325. Ryan, we played the Eagles alt in the NFC Conference Championship game. Why not run it back here? Eagles laying the 7.5 plus 325. Bringing back our pleaser segment. So shout out to the Birds.
Now I would, and I know that in the where you were looking at the numbers, you didn't have the opportunity to play 6.5. But I would strongly encourage someone that if they like the idea of this, it based on the numbers at a couple popular books. I would say the value, again, if you're confident, you're confident. Don't listen to me.
Yeah.
But the value would be in laying the 6.5 versus the 7.5.
What's the price difference?
It's usually not enough. It's some places aren't offering it. So like a classic shop, they're gonna do it so you have to alt to the other side of the key numbers.
Okay.
7.5, 10.5, 14.5, etc. Which reminds me of, do you remember that Seattle, Denver Super Bowl? We played the alts all the way to the moon.
So good.
All right, let me pull up the alts for this one, Sean.
While Ryan's doing that, reminder: use the promo code Big Game, get you a sweet discount on all the SGPN merch, SGP hats, the DGen hats. These things are fire. Check those out. Get some more gear. Perfect time to load up for the big game. From now until the big game, get you 25% off. Promo code promo code Big Game.
So it's essentially costing you 60 cents to come down on the other side of 7, which again, I think it's one of those things where if you're confident, I get it, take the bigger price, but I think the simulations would point out your win in overall EV would probably be better at 6.5, but you're confident, so you shouldn't change. This was for everyone else.
I'm not changing.
Yeah, this was for everyone else.
We are locked into the Super Bowl this week, Ryan.
I know. I was just thinking about I was thinking about a couple things. I was thinking about getting my maxing out my credit at the Circa and placing a ton of Super Bowl bets.
Okay.
I was also thinking about making sure that I saved some cash for the slot machine. And I was lastly thinking that I'm going to play craps this weekend because it's the Super Bowl.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Super Bowl, rolling some dice, feeling the energy. It's going to be
throw dice.
Yeah. Why not? It's going to be rocking here on Sunday.
I know. Maybe we'll play craps with some fans.
Yeah. If you're going to be out there for the Super Bowl Friday night, come say hi.
Blow on Sean's dice.
There you go. Blow on my dice. It's good luck. Anything else, right? Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares. Now we're upping it to 2.
Maybe
if it fills,
if we can get it filled.
Set it exactly to 200 entries, right?
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares. and we will return tomorrow to talk the dreaded Kansas City Chiefs and their.
So you have
shitty
15
props.
Chiefs props.
Oh yeah,
That's amazing.
no problem.
That's gonna be amazing.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan
Grant Calcaterra.
Kramer. Let it ride.